FoxBangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, the latest on Hurricane Milton as it regains strength and is taking aim at Florida.
Plus, papermakers in Skowhegan gather in a show of solidarity after contract talks led to calls for a strike.
And Acadia National Park unveils new employee housing that will help fill a shortage on MDI. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday morning. We'll have all the day's news coming up, including the latest on Hurricane Milton. Really is a monster storm that right now churning in the Gulf of Mexico, heading towards Florida. Had a little good news just a little while ago. It's lost a little strength.
At the very least, it has been downgraded to a Category 4. It is already pouring in the Tampa region. Wind speeds are expected to get up to 155 miles per hour. So, you know, a Category 4 hurricane is still strong enough to take the roof off of your house. And with all that debris already from Helene just a couple weeks ago, there's just going to be stuff flying everywhere. So it's still cause for major concern, but at least it's not a 5.
Not a good situation at all. A lot of folks down in Florida are now evacuating. We'll have more on that coming up. But first, let's check in with Devin Biggs for a look at today's weather forecast locally.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Comfort Shoes can help you find the perfect fit for your new fall and winter footwear. Visit us across from Irving and Newport. Alrighty, here we go. A frost advisory up for a few areas this morning, including Bangor. This will last until 8 a.m. this morning. We also have some advisories further off towards the west for frost as well. Meanwhile, though, for the time being, nothing too ridiculous. We are watching a few rain showers that will be moving in as the day gets going. Notice we're seeing those now with clouds from the west going toward the east. Just a few rain showers will be common on and off today. It won't be a big deal at all. We'll even get some sunshine peeking out from time to time. But otherwise, just a few scattered showers being noted across some parts of the northeast. But otherwise, looking rather quiet across a good part of the U.S. at this time. The obvious exception is Florida. Obviously, a few showers on the way for us today. We have a little bit more on the way tonight, and maybe a little bit more as we head towards the daytime period tomorrow. As for the winds, roughly at about 5 to 10 miles per hour today, maybe a few higher gusts at times. More wind will be possible tomorrow with gusts that can reach up to around 20 miles per hour at times. So your forecast for today, we have upper 50s, partly cloudy with a few rain showers possible. Northwest wind getting up to around 5 miles per hour. The hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing some scattered rain showers possible with temperatures warming into the 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Devin. We'll have a look at that 5-day forecast a little later on. Well, first thing this morning, Hurricane Milton is barreling towards Florida as a powerful storm in the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, it's a Category 5, expected to weaken to a 3 or 4 when it makes landfall later tonight, but still expected to cause major devastation. The biggest concerns are high winds and potentially record-breaking storm surges. The evacuation window quickly closing as the storm moves in. ABC's Raina Roy has the latest from Tampa.
This morning, time is running out to prepare for historic Hurricane Milton as the monster storm closes in on Florida.
This is destructive, life-threatening storm surge, not a safe environment to stay in. So if you're in one of those storm surge evacuation zones along the west coast of Florida, please heed that evacuation advice.
Milton expected to make landfall late tonight as a Category 3 or 4 hurricane, bringing up to 18 inches of rain and a record storm surge of up to 15 feet in the Tampa Bay area. It has the potential to be one of the most destructive hurricanes on record for the state of Florida.
Sarasota County has issued an evacuation for your area.
Authorities driving through coastal neighborhoods warning people to leave while they still can, and if not, prepare for the worst.
Write your name on your arm so we can identify you. We're all talking the same way. Get out of these areas because we can replace your home. We can't replace your life.
Airlines added thousands of seats, allowing more people to get out.
The rain and the wind and all that, and I said, I have to go.
Hurricane hunters flying directly into Milton to gather data, their plane jerking around in extreme turbulence. The governor says the National Guard storm mobilization is likely the largest in state history, with thousands of troops activated. 34 search and rescue planes are on standby, and 37,000 linemen are either in Florida or on the way to help with power outages. One major concern, coastal areas still filled with piles of debris from Hurricane Helene, despite frantic cleanup efforts in recent days. In some areas, a desperate struggle to find gas. More than 30% of gas stations have already run dry in the Fort Myers-Naples area.
It's been I would say, a tremendous task to get gas.
And some areas, including Charlotte County south of Tampa, are now extending evacuation orders further inland because of storm surge concerns. Rena Roy, ABC News, Tampa, Florida.
Well, meanwhile, Mainers are stepping up to help support communities in Florida ahead of Hurricane Milton's landfall. According to the American Red Cross, 2 of their volunteers left the Bangor airport yesterday morning to help support their operations in response to Hurricane Helene and to prepare for Hurricane Milton's arrival. One of those volunteers was John Lee, a clinical director for St. Joseph's Hospital's emergency department. Lee says this is his first deployment as a volunteer for the American Red Cross.
I just want to be able to help one person. If I can help one person at the end of the day, that makes all the difference.
And during his 2-week deployment, Lee says he'll be working on the Red Cross's mass sheltering and feeding campaign.
The Red Cross of Northern and Eastern Maine says due to mass cancellations elsewhere in the country for blood drives, it's now even more crucial that Mainers step up to bridge the gap and donate blood. Hundreds of blood drives have been canceled following Hurricane Helene and in anticipation of Hurricane Milton. But that's not the case up here in Maine. According to Executive Director Caroline King, the American Red Cross is urging folks who are healthy and well to donate blood. She says through their national distribution system, donations can be sent to where they're needed most.
Can't make or manufacture blood. It has to come from a volunteer who's giving of their time and of their blood, and we need that desperately right now.
To learn more, visit redcrossblood.org.
Other news this morning, an Augusta man has been indicted on charges following an attempted sexual assault on the Kennebec River Trail. Authorities say it was back on July 1st when 57-year-old James Oliver pushed a woman into some brush and told her he was going to rape her. They say a pedestrian interrupted the assault and came to the woman's aid. According to the Morning Sentinel, Oliver has now been indicted on charges of attempted gross sexual assault, unlawful sexual contact, and criminal threatening. Described as a transient, Oliver was also convicted of gross sexual assault in 2015 and unlawful sexual contact in 2011. He's also facing burglary and theft charges for an unrelated case involving a theft at a local market.
According to the Dover-Foxcroft Police Department, they've received several complaints regarding the removal of political signs from public easements in their town. Our Doug Banks explains.
As the days separating now and November 5th begin to lessen, more and more signs of various political candidates begin to appear in abundance. But over this past weekend, the Dover-Foxcroft Police Department says they received several complaints regarding the removal of political signs from public easements, specifically along West Main Street and Park Street. In a post on the department's Facebook page, it says, quote, "It was requested that no action be taken, but we are asked to remind folks that tampering with or removal of political signs from any public way or private property is a violation of Maine law. That Maine law is in reference to unlawful removal of temporary signs. Unless a person is authorized to remove signs placed within a public right-of-way, the Maine legislature says a person who takes, defaces, or disturbs a sign placed within the public right-of-way is committing a civil violation. Those found guilty of committing said violation may be adjudged a fine of up to $250. Angel Bragan, a Dover-Foxcroft resident and owner of the Store and More, says over this past weekend, she placed a total of 6 political signs that support former President Donald Trump out on the public easement in front of the Piscataquis County Democrats building on West Main Street. By Monday, those signs were removed, and Bragan says she found them placed behind the building. We reached out to the Piscataquis County Democrats, but did not receive a response.
How much is a sign going to sway somebody? So we all put them out, and it's for a short time. What's the point in not being tolerant?
In Dover-Foxcroft, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Now the news, United Steelworkers 4-9 union members voted on September 20th to authorize a strike at the Sappi Mill in Skowhegan. As our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard reports, while there was no official strike, They did gather yesterday in a show of solidarity as those contract talks continue.
Solidarity was the message here at the Union Hall for United Steelworkers 4-9, who on September 20th voted to authorize a strike for Tuesday, October 8th. Now, union members didn't officially go on strike, but they did hold what they called a solidarity rally in hopes to get the attention of sappy leadership at the bargaining table for their new contracts. Union members say they have been pushed to the limit with forced overtime that is impacting their health and safety as well as their ability to see their families. They go on to claim they've had members working mandatory 24-hour shifts with only 1 day off every 2 weeks, which can lead to an overall public safety issue with operating machinery. Justin Shaw, the union president, says he hopes that this threat of a strike will call on the company to come back to the table with a better offer.
We make a decent living in there. We have decent benefits, but my members do not live to work. They work to live, right? So when you don't have family time, you don't have your holidays, you don't have your weekends, your family's headed to a birthday party or out to camp for the day, and you're headed into the mill to make them more and more money. Sometimes money isn't the deciding factor. Sometimes there's other things. So right now it's a work-life balance that we're really struggling with, and that may be a tipping point.
Forced overtime is a big problem in the paper industry here in Maine. I will say the 24-hour shifts is pretty unique to this location.
A manager for Sappi issued the following statement regarding the strike, quote, "We have presented a highly competitive offer featuring industry-leading wage increases on top of wages that are already among the best in both the industry and the region. We take exception to the union's characterization of the issues regarding overtime and vacation benefits. We remain hopeful that we will reach an agreement," end quote. And we'll continue to follow this story and bring you the latest information as it becomes available. In Skowhegan, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, the time now is 8:12. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, school is out at the Mountain Valley Middle School, and students will be switching to remote learning as they deal with the latest school closure in Maine.
We'll tell you what's causing it coming up, but first another look at that weather forecast. A cloudy day ahead today with a chance of a few passing showers. Highs around 59 degrees. Mostly cloudy with a few showers overnight, lows dropping down to the upper 30s. More scattered showers on the way for tomorrow with highs near 57. We'll be right back.
Joshua Chamberlain is the greatest citizen Maine has ever produced. He saved democracy at Gettysburg, but he knew that we, the people, isn't a given.
I have a dream.
It takes work from generation to generation. Voting rights, personal freedom, the rule of law, all part of that wild and crazy idea that the people are in charge. I'm Angus King, and I approve this message because now it's our turn to defend democracy. And the old general had a pretty good mustache, too.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of this things that just will never come out. Every now and then I rinse it out.
Fights odor in just one wash. Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
My wife needed neck surgery after a bad accident. We called the Tubes, and Lowry and Associates got her $1 million.
Big cases and small, we handle them all. Call us. We win for you.
Call 222-2222.
She's the apple of his eye.
Ta-da! What do you think?
You look beautiful. And you're grounded.
She may be a tomboy.
You're so lucky you get to be in Junior G.I. Joes. And you're lucky I don't want to get blood on my uniform.
But she's still Daddy's little girl.
Sit down and talk to you for a minute.
This isn't a sex talk, is it? Because I already know more than I'd like to.
Learn all about Eve.
Am I supposed to understand what you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
On Last Man Standing.
Weekdays at 3 on Fox 22.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Another Maine school is abruptly closing its doors because it isn't safe for students. Mold problems at Mountain Valley Middle School in Rumford arose earlier this year. Now the superintendent says engineers testing the air in the school say it isn't safe to breathe. Classes are canceled for the rest of the week, and the building itself is closed to students until Friday. That's when they'll be allowed to get their own property from the school. Students will begin remote learning next Tuesday, October 15th. School administrators say they are, quote, brainstorming what to do for the rest of the school year. A new school is being built right now in the area, but it won't be ready for at least another year.
Friends of Acadia and Acadia National Park have reached what they say is a major milestone towards addressing staffing and housing shortages as they unveiled new seasonal workforce housing units. Our Grace Blanchard shares more.
We're doing more today for employee housing in Acadia National Park than has been done since the 1960s.
Park officials are calling it a momentous day for Acadia National Park and Friends of Acadia as they showcase their brand new seasonal workforce housing units. In recent years, housing availability has been identified as a critical obstacle for obtaining seasonal employees in the park.
Anything you love in this park was being threatened by the inability to hire the 175, up to 175 seasonal staff that are needed to operate the park.
2 housing units have been built on Dane Farm in Acadia, which will provide a total of 8 beds for their seasonal workforce starting next spring.
So by adding units to the national park, we're trying to own our portion of the solution and hopefully alleviate some of the pressure, if you will, in the greater surrounding MDI Ellsworth location.
Maine Senator Angus King has been a prominent supporter of the project.
It's a milestone for everyone in the area to be able to see what can actually be accomplished. And so it's not disruptive. These are very good looking, fitting into the neighborhood kinds of projects. And I think it's going to make a big difference here on the island.
Their efforts do not stop here. According to park officials, they are also working to construct 28 new bedrooms for employee housing in Bar Harbor.
Our workforce is critical to be able to welcome 4 million visits a year to Acadia National Park. And so these housing units are going to be on the landscape, serving employees, serving visitors for the next 100 years.
To learn more, visit our website, foxbangor.com. In Seal Harbor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Does your family know what to do in the event of a fire or how to help prevent one? Firefighters went to the Brewer Community School to teach students about just that. Their efforts are part of National Fire Prevention Week, a time when those in the firefighting sector highlight issues surrounding safety and focus on education. Brewer Deputy Fire Chief Eric Turtelot says in addition to planning and prevention, it's just as important for kids to be comfortable with firefighters themselves, so they're less scared in the event of a real emergency.
We want to make sure they're not afraid. We don't want kids running away or hiding from firefighters. And if they're in trouble, seek out firefighter or police officers, that we're here to help.
Now, the students also got the chance to check out the fire truck and the firefighters putting on their gear. They also got to ask questions now, which Turtelot says can help calm fears later on when a real emergency occurs. Pretty neat.
It's very good to be prepared.
Yeah, the good thing about this too, I've covered that over the years, and the kids will take what they learn. They're excited about it. They'll go home and they'll teach their siblings. They'll talk to their parents, maybe get their parents to think about things like smoke detector batteries, things like that. So it's good for everybody.
Yeah, hands-on learning really makes it stick.
Yeah.
All right, the time now is 8:18. After the break, the whales are back in town in Bar Harbor with people seeing an exceptional amount of them in the water this year.
The whales are back in town. The whales are back in town.
Oh my God.
Sorry about that.
It's going to be in my head all day.
We'll have the story coming up on Good Morning Maine.
I've been on the water since I was 2 days old. Fished up and down the coast from Nantucket to Eastport. I've been paying into Medicare, Social Security my whole life, every paycheck. Those benefits should be there when we retire. But Austin wants to join extremists in Congress, trying to cut Social Security and Medicare. I earned those benefits. Austin should not be able to take those away.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
AMHG Works, LLC, American-made home goods, located at the Rennie's Plaza in Bangor. Come check us out. We're open 7 days a week, featuring artisans, crafters, and manufacturers from across the United States, where everything is meticulously designed with care and pride. We also have a wide selection of pet accessories and treats. Let us be your new favorite store. We look forward to seeing you.
Mainers are tough as nails, and when it comes to quitting smoking or vaping, we don't give up, because Mainers know every quit attempt is a step in the right direction. The Maine Quit Link offers free help to stop smoking and vaping, including personalized quit plans and free nicotine gum, patches, and lozenges. Because quitting tobacco with a little extra help is more successful than quitting cold turkey. Quit like a Mainer. Enroll online at MaineQuitLink.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Backed by popular demand, the Lucerne Inn in Dedham presents its amazing Sunday brunch. Join us every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for a culinary experience like no other. Indulge in an exquisite selection of dishes, all while enjoying breathtaking views. Seating is limited, so reservations are recommended, but walk-ins are always welcome. The Lucerne Inn Sunday Brunch, where great food meets a spectacular view. Call today to reserve your spot.
It's estimated that over 3 million people visit Bar Harbor every year, and this year was no different, but there were a few visitors off the coast that were especially welcomed, albeit a little unexpected.
Our Devin Dagnall explains.
This past year has been exceptionally exciting for whale watching in Maine.
This past few weeks, we've been having upwards of 10 humpbacks, handfuls of fin whales, and even a critically endangered species like the North Atlantic right whale.
That's Abigail Sims, one of the naturalists at Bar Harbor Whale Watching, an organization that works with local experts to take people off the coast of Maine to, you guessed it, watch whales. Abigail says the 2024 season has seen dozens of whales with an excursion success rate of upwards of 95%, compared over the past 3 years where success floated around 90 and 95%. That's on top of the fact that when these boats go out, they're also seeing more whales per trip than they have over the past few years. Abigail mentioned before seeing a few of the critically endangered right whales, which is extraordinary because scientists estimate there are only about 350 of them left in the world.
Seeing a right whale is like finding the golden Easter egg out there. It's something really, really rare for us. So things have changed up here quite a bit with our populations.
Experts aren't quite sure what's causing the uptick in activity, but they say there are a few factors that could be coming into play. It could be the currents are just right for the plankton, or it could be cooler temperatures or keeping the whales in the area for longer, or it could just be luck. No matter the reason, Abigail says Bar Harbor Whale Watching expects to see whales through the rest of its season, and you can book a trip through barharborwhales.com.
Getting to come out and learning about these animals, that's a way we can protect them. If you know more about them and you know more about the threats and you can kind of spread the word of like, hey, this is what these whales are facing and this is what we learned we can do to fix it, that can get spread beyond us and we can reach people that otherwise wouldn't get a chance to come out on a trip like this.
In Bar Harbor, Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Neat.
Yeah, those tours, I suggest if you've never been on one before, just take your Dramamine or, come prepared because you can get quite seasick.
Yeah, they go pretty far out and you get those swells, and even if you don't usually get seasick, they can make you seasick.
Right. They're a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
All right, the time now is 8:23.
Let's get a full look at our weather forecast.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Wednesday. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Comfort Shoes can help you find the perfect fit for your new fall and winter footwear. Visit us across from Irving and Newport. Alrighty, here we go. Frost advisory up until 8 a.m. this morning from Bangor, areas further off towards the east, and a few frost advisories off toward the west as well. That's not the only thing we're watching. We're watching for some active surf at times. Noticeable wave heights at around 4 to 5 feet according to the buoys. No advisories in effect offshore, at least at this moment in time. We'll keep an eye on that. Notice the ocean a little bit further active. The ocean, though, further out towards sea, a little bit more active at around 7 to 8 feet according to the buoys there. And of course, we have a hurricane near Florida. We'll talk about that in a little bit. On land, though, we are seeing a few showers that are developing this morning. There they are there, tracking from the west going toward the east. So a few showers will be common on and off throughout the daytime period today with sunshine that will also peek out from time to time. Here's the area low pressure pressure right about in here. Nothing too ridiculous here with a few showers across the northeastern states. Obviously very active weather moving into Florida. With Hurricane Milton, as of the last update, this thing is mean. A Category 5 major hurricane tracking off towards the north and east. This thing just looks very impressive as it tracks off towards the north and east, heading right towards Florida. The latest information we have has that around 160 miles per hour with some gusty winds. This is ugly. 200 miles per hour and moving towards the northeast at 12 miles per hour. So it's speeding up. Hurricane warnings in the red. Tropical storm warnings also being noted in the orange. And its projected path will take it through parts of Florida throughout the daytime period, coming up even later on tonight into parts of Thursday morning. So tonight into Thursday morning, that's when this thing will begin to move in. And it could make landfall as a Category 3 or 4 hurricane somewhere between Tampa and Fort Myers. So it's going to be very ugly to see how this thing behaves as we do move forward in time. Hopefully everyone that you know of has evacuated from Florida, or at least moved to a spot that won't be as affected as badly from this storm. But meanwhile, though, for today here at home, we'll be partly cloudy with highs in the upper 50s. A few rain showers possible, no big deal there. Northwest wind getting up to around 5 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 30s, mostly cloudy, a few rain showers possible again. West wind getting up to around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 50s, partly cloudy, some scattered rain showers possible, more so sprinkles with that northwest wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Alrighty, let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Partly cloudy Friday with highs in the low 60s, lower 60s again for your Saturday with a chance for rain showers, and partly cloudy Sunday with highs in the upper 50s.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message.
A new law that outlawed abortion past 6 weeks in all cases.
These laws make me sick and heartbroken.
The government shouldn't be in the examining room.
It's extremists that don't allow women to have choice.
It's none of your business.
Austin Terrio is on the same side as the extremists who want to have a national abortion ban.
And these extremists, they're going to try to control women.
What else will they ban? What else will they monitor? What other privacy will we lose? Austin Terrio scares me.
When it comes to automotive and heavy equipment repair, trust the experts at CTI Service Center, located in Old Town and Milford. CTI offers heavy-duty part sales at our Old Town location, as well as on-the-road service with our heavy-duty mobile units. CTI also offers tire sales, including mount and spin balance, as well as Old Town's only heavy-duty alignment system. CTI Service Center diagnoses issues swiftly and accurately. For reliable service and peace of mind, give us a call or visit us online at ctiservicecenter.com. CTI Service Center, simply the best.
What's the score of the game?
The new Hyundai Elantra with America's best warranty. There's joy in every journey. Lease a Hyundai Elantra for only $159 a month, or get 1.99% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash. See your local Bangor Hyundai dealer.
Protect your vehicle from rusting away with Bell's Automotive Protection. We are the leader in mobile undercoating and rust proofing in Maine. We'll travel right to your driveway using the best and safest products on the market. This is much safer than rubberized coatings that can cause damage later on. We spray all types of vehicles, including commercial fleets. We all know vehicles aren't cheap anymore. Don't let the harsh winter chemicals eat them away. Call us or visit our page for a free quote. 207-659-3805.
This morning, we're hearing reactions on the new allegations about former President Trump's relationship with Vladimir Putin, including the claim that he sent the Russian president COVID tests during the height of the pandemic. It comes as the race for the White House continues to tighten. Here's ABC's Christiane Cordero from Washington.
Today, as the storm-ravaged southeastern states brace for a major hurricane while recovering from another, the battle on the campaign trail is over the government's response. President Biden blasting former President Trump for spreading disinformation about FEMA, which has been on the ground for days.
I'll use an old phrase, it's un-American. It really is. People are scared to death.
And in new controversies, journalist Bob Woodward's upcoming book, War, reports Trump secretly sent rare COVID tests to Russia for Vladimir Putin's personal use during the height of the pandemic. Vice President Harris, speaking with Stephen Colbert overnight, slammed Trump.
You remember how many people did not have tests? And this man is giving COVID test kits to Vladimir Putin?
Woodward also reports Trump had, quote, multiple phone calls with Putin since leaving the White House, including at least one call earlier this year. In a phone call with ABC's Jonathan Karl, Trump denies everything.
So you haven't spoken to him since you left the White House?
No, I have not.
And the other thing he said is that you had provided some Abbott test machines to Putin back during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, false.
Trump's most recent attack against Harris is centered around comments she made on The View, saying she wouldn't have done many things differently than President Biden.
Every time she does an interview, she sounds like a child.
Harris has spent the week on a media blitz, criticizing Trump for not doing the same, instead inviting voters to watch his rallies and consider that his pitch.
What he does not talk about is you. He does not talk about what you need. He does not talk about what your parents need, what your children's need. He talks about his needs.
Trump rallies today in Pennsylvania. Harris travels to Las Vegas ahead of an event there tomorrow. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
11 members of the same family were killed when Hurricane Helene devastated the community named for them. Diane Wilson has more from Fairview, North Carolina.
It's unrecognizable now, but this is where I was born and raised.
This is what's left of Craigtown. Now Jesse Craig is trying to pick up the pieces, grappling with the incredible loss of losing 11 of his family members.
My mother and father, my aunt and uncle, my great aunt and uncle, lost cousins, second cousins, things like that. But 11 people overall from this mudslide.
Massive mudslides. You can see the path of destruction. Several homes just gone.
There was one up here, a brick house, and then my parents' house, a building. There were buildings through here.
All of these homes, his family's proud history, now piles of rubble. As Jesse walked Eyewitness News around his family land, he shared how his grandfather bought this land more than 80 years ago.
The locals call it Craigtown because I'm a Craig, and a lot of my family still live over there. My dad was born and raised there. You know, my whole family's been in this tight-knit community.
The family built 8 decades of memories, but never could imagine suffering a loss like this. Included in the 11 family members of firefighter Tony Garrison, who died while saving a family member from this home. Look at this red truck. One of Jesse's family survived the onslaught inside of it when the mudslides came, carrying his truck to here. Then he had to break the back window to escape.
We'll never make sense of it. You know, it's our community and our town. I don't know that it'll ever be the same.
Since Helene, Jesse and his wife surrounded by family, friends, and the entire Fairview community, along with total strangers, helping Craigtown, an online fundraiser raising more than $50,000 to help pay for the 11 funerals, medical expenses of those family still in the hospital, and to one day rebuild Craigtown.
We don't want people to forget like months down the road. Like this isn't just a week or two fix. This is,
we got to be in it for the long haul. This is going to take, years of work, repair. Try to have it recognizable again.
And coming up on the second half of the newscast, the race is on at a school in Herman to see which class can donate the most socks to a local area homeless shelter.
We'll tell you how you can help as Good Morning Maine continues.
Irresistibly smooth milk chocolate from the Lindt Master Chocolatier. Lindor. Made to melt you. And now, discover a new non-dairy Lindor. Made with oat milk. Made to melt you.
Gun Sports in Brewer knows that for fun, exercise, and meeting new friends, nothing is better than ice skating. Whether it's sailing down the ice, making a great pass, and scoring in a game of hockey, or the grace, strength, and expression of figure skating. From the youngest child all the way to adulthood, anyone can enjoy the fun of skating. At Gun Sports, we supply the equipment for your skating fun for great prices, the proper fit, and service after the sale. Shop your locally owned Gun Sports shop, Greenpoint Road in Brewer.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, and today is also National Pizza and a Beer Day. Perfect day for it, too.
I know. What else do you have to say? Today's a simple holiday that says indulge in a treat if you'd like. And if that's not for you, well, it's also National Curious Events Day, a day intended for us to get lost in thought about things we can't find any answers to. If I'm going to get lost in thought and not have any answers to my thoughts, I would like to do it with a pizza and a beer.
It'd be perfect, right?
Yes.
Yeah, bring friends together,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
Talk about ghosts, UFOs, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything. I don't have the answers to a lot of things.
Yeah,
so.
just not politics.
Plenty.
No politics.
No, I mean,
Well, I guess you could if you want to.
at home.
Yeah. All right, moving on to history now. On this day in history, back in 1635, Roger Williams was banished from the Massachusetts Bay Colony for preaching about things like religious freedom and spiritual equality. And as a result, he later founded the colony of Rhode Island.
See, now you can like talk about politics and do things over a pizza and a beer.
Yeah.
1600s Puritan, the colonies, you'd get banished.
Yeah.
They'd say, they'd bang the gavel and say, get out of here, buddy.
You have to leave
Yeah.
right now.
Legally, you have
Yeah.
to leave.
Yeah. All right.
Crazy.
In 1888, the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C., a marble-faced granite obelisk, was finally open to the public. Took a lot of years to build. 1936, the Boulder Dam, later called the Hoover Dam on the Arizona-Nevada border, began generating electricity. It was considered one of the marvels of the world. And in 1941, Franklin Delano Roosevelt approved an atomic program that would become known as the Manhattan Project.
In 1992, a meteorite crashed through a red Chevy Malibu in Peekskill, New York. It reportedly was the size of a bowling ball, was warm to the touch, and smelled vaguely of rotten eggs. You can see that Chevy Malibu right on your screen right now. Of course, my first thought was, I bet insurance does not cover that.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer.
You know, imagine telling somebody, I'm late for work today, a meteorite hit my car.
I
They're
know.
like, sure it did.
I know.
Yeah.
I hope you weren't crying wolf before that. And in 2012, women's rights and education activist Malala Yousafzai was shot 3 times by a Taliban gunman as she tried to board her school bus in northwest Pakistan. She is a world-renowned activist, and she has an autobiography out about those events. That was a bestseller. All right, and finally now, last year in 2023, the world record was set for the heaviest pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern weighing 2,749 pounds, grown in Minnesota, which would be enough for 687 pies.
A lot of pumpkin pies. For birthdays today, we have actor Tony Shalhoub. He is 71 years old today. Mexican filmmaker and author Guillermo del Toro is 60, and TV personality Sharon Osbourne is 72 years old today. Happy birthday to all of them.
Guillermo del Toro was that guy who did Pan's Labyrinth, a very scary film. I still haven't seen that one, even though I love horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on now. It's looking like kind of a rainy one.
Yeah, a little rain today. Perfect day to stay in. Maybe have a piece of pizza and a beer.
And
if you
watch
don't
a
have
scary
to go anywhere,
movie.
watch a scary movie.
I know, I just got groceries. I can't get a pizza.
Yeah. Sure you can.
I could talk myself into it pretty
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah, you can. Go for it.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop peer pressuring.
Here's Devin Biggs with your forecast. Get the pizza.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Comfort Shoes can help you find the perfect fit for your new fall and winter footwear. Visit us across from Irving and Newport. Alrighty, here we go. A frost advisory up for a few areas this morning, including Bangor. This will last until 8 a.m. this morning. We also have some advisories further off towards the west for frost as well. Meanwhile, though, for the time being, nothing too ridiculous. We are watching a few rain showers that will be moving in as the day gets going. Notice we're seeing those now with clouds from the west going toward the east. Just a few rain showers will be common on and off today. It won't be a big deal at all. We'll even get some sunshine peeking out from time to time. But otherwise, just a few scattered showers being noted across some parts of the northeast. But otherwise, looking rather quiet across a good part of the U.S. at this time. The obvious exception is Florida. Obviously, a few showers on the way for us today. We have a little bit more on the way tonight, and maybe a little bit more as we head towards the daytime period tomorrow. As for the winds, roughly roughly at about 5 to 10 miles per hour today, maybe a few higher gusts at times. More wind will be possible tomorrow with gusts that can reach up to around 20 miles per hour at times. So your forecast for today, we have upper 50s, partly cloudy with a few rain showers possible. Northwest wind getting up to around 5 miles per hour. The hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing some scattered rain showers possible with temperatures warming into the 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Devin. Well, middle school students in Herman are collecting socks for those in need. For the entire month, all students in 5th through 8th grade are collecting new socks as part of Socktober. The donations are collected in boxes in each homeroom, and the classroom that collects the largest amount will win a pizza party, courtesy of the school student council.
I just hope they learn that, doing things for others is a great thing and it's rewarding. Whether you get the pizza party or not, you're doing something for those in need, and that always feels good.
The school has set a goal to collect 1,000 or more pairs of socks for the homeless. It's still early in the month, so the students have plenty of time to bring in their donations to meet their goal.
What a meaningful thing to do, too. They're going to be helping a lot of people in the process.
That's a great lesson. Yeah. All right after the break, Tyler Cruz will have our sports updates.
Don't go away.
I'm Craig Poulin, retired chief of the Maine State Police. My investigations were fact-based with evidence leading to sound conclusions. A sound conclusion on Jared Golden is easily reached. He's on our side. Jared stood against defunding the police and worked with Republicans to strengthen the border. Jared is a Maine sportsman and gun owner who respects and supports the Second Amendment, and he opposes unnecessary and unhelpful gun legislation. Take it from me, Jared Golden is fighting to keep your family safe.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message.
I was injured in a motorcycle accident and called Joe Bornstein's office for a free case evaluation. These guys are really good. They work hard and they really do fight for you. I was able to recover from my injuries while they took care of all the important details, and there were a lot of them. I highly recommend the law offices of Joe Bornstein to anyone injured in a motorcycle accident. For those who ride, keep Joe by your side.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration? Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
There isn't a wrong way to communicate when it comes to empowering families to stay up to date on routine vaccines.
Will you show me?
Visit immunizeme.org to learn how to download DACA to check immunization records. This message brought to you by Maine CDC, this station, and the Maine Association of Broadcasters.
Fox College Football Friday and Big Noon Saturday with the Big 10, Big 12, and Mountain West. College football on Fox all season long.
The time has finally come. Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. When the New England Patriots take the field at Gillette Stadium Sunday against the Houston Texans, Drake May will be under center for his first career start. It was first reported on Tuesday morning by Adam Schefter. The Patriots selected May with the 3rd overall pick, and he excelled in the preseason. Jacoby Brissett this season has thrown for 697 yards in 5 weeks with just 2 touchdowns and 1 interception and a 74.2 passer rating. And the offense is averaging 12.4 points per game, the last in the league. We will hear from Gerard Mayo and the team on Wednesday about the decision. Let's head over to Orono now to check in with Maine Hockey, who picked up their first win of the year on Saturday behind a huge night from their 3rd line. Jack Webb has the story.
I think we can be one of the strongest and heaviest lines in college hockey, so we got to stick to that identity.
Maine men's hockey opened their season in dominant fashion on Saturday, cruising to a 6-0 win over AIC.
The depth of the team showed, and I think there's a lot to grow from that game. And for the first game, I think it's a good starting point.
Maine's third line of Nolan Renwick, Taylor McCarr, and Ross Mitten were at the forefront of the Black Bear attack as their line combined for 10 total points.
Those are two really easy guys to play with. They play the right way. They play a hard and heavy style of hockey, so I think we mesh real well together from the start.
Renwick led the way with 2 goals and 2 assists, recording over a third of his point total from last season in just one night.
Put in a lot of work during the summer to have a good start and contribute a little bit more to the team this year, and just to see that come to fruition in the first game, it meant a lot to see the hard work pay off.
As for McCarr, he tallied 2 goals and 1 assist during his debut as he loudly introduced himself to Black Bear Nation, scoring on his first shift in a Maine jersey.
I was so proud to go out there, and the crowd is always amazing. I got chills when I was hearing everyone chant at the starting lineups and getting a first win for these fans, and they give so much to us, so it's great to give back.
Ross Mitten added 3 assists, rounding out a huge night for Maine's third line. Renwick, Mitten, and McCarr weigh a combined 625 pounds, making them one of the heaviest forward lines in college hockey. And they know they have to use all of it.
I think that's part of our job, getting some energy for the team and trying to get those heavy shifts on the opponents. So I think that's important for our line, and we know that role.
Coach Barr says the challenge for this group will be consistency.
When they're moving their feet, it's really hard to defend a line like that, and you saw that in that game. And the challenge will be, can you do that every weekend?
From Orono, Jack Webb, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thanks for that, Jack. Certainly a big weekend at the Alphon. Let's go to some high school soccer now in a big Class B North girls matchup over at Pottle Field. John Bapst, the home team in this one, hosting the Eagles from Ellsworth. No score in the first half when we pick it up. Quinn Bennett sends it in for Jackie Pangburn. This one is going to get through the defense. She gets into the box, fires with the left, and scores. That makes it 1-0 John Bapst. Here's Ellsworth looking to answer. A great ball here from Lizzie Bowles is going to find Cameron Clough. She fires. She gets a great look, but look at Grace Bouchard with the leaping save to keep the Eagles at bay. Still in the first, Bapst gets a great chance here, but Sage Gokel in net comes away with the save in traffic to keep it 1-0. To the second half now, direct kick for the Crusaders, and Quinn Bennett blasts this one. She scores up top, and the Crusaders win 2-0. Over to the Weatherby Complex now. Brewer boys traveling to take on Hamden Academy. Game tied at 1. We're picking it up in the first half, which is with it. Nick Godfrey turns on the Jets and then muscles into the box, fires a shot, and this one is just going to miss high. Great chance there for Brewer. Moving on to the second half now. Hamden has it. Really good ball from Lucas Faciol. He finds Aiden Ball, who chases it down in the corner and fires, but Eli Willette dives and comes up with the save for the Witches, which is on the throw-in now in the second half. Charlie Bridges times it perfectly, gets ahead on it. It takes a scary bounce if you're a Bronco, but that strong defense gets it out of there, and that defense would hold the Witches at bay. Hamden wins 3-1. And in golf, the KVAC qualifiers Tuesday at Natanis Golf Course. These are the team results from Class A. Brewer, Camden Hills, and Bangor each qualify. Brewer wins the tournament. Edward Little qualifies as well after winning the conference. Individually, Will Farshone of Brunswick was the leader at 3 over 75. Eddie Goff of Skowhegan, Jacoby Harvey of Bangor, and Calvin Grass of Brewer each tied for second, 2 strokes off the lead. And in Class B, Lincoln Academy wins. Morris Gardner and Belfast all qualify as teams. Kellen Addix shot a 6 under 66 for the individual title, followed by Jack Quinn of Gardner with a 73, Jade Haylock of Levitt with a 77, and then Austin Gould of Gardner and Caden Nickerson from Belfast. All right, big congratulations to all of them. That is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Ye Old General, located in Carmel, has everything you could ever need. Whether it be kerosene, regular or ethanol-free gasoline, wood pellets, a fresh-cooked pizza, or fried food, they've got you covered. Looking to get a stiff drink after work? Ye Old General is an agency liquor store with a great selection of alcohol. Ye Old General can help with your next home project, carrying carpentry supplies from hammers and nails to specialty nuts and bolts. They have what you need to get the job done. Stop by Ye Old General today. If you don't think they'll have it, they probably do.
your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Here's this week's featured deal.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna.
On sale Thursday at 9 a.m. A limited supply available half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Light it up! TV's biggest game show is back, and it's even bigger.
Let's go!
The Floor, all new tonight on Fox.
Sundays, it's the best 2 hours of NFL coverage, starting with Fox NFL Kickoff at 11.
This is great TV.
It is caught! Then at noon, take it to the next level on Fox NFL Sunday.
This kid has it all.
Touchdown! America's #1 pregame show. The best NFL pregame shows are back-to-back, only on Fox.
John Legend makes plans for the holidays, and country music stars team up to help with Hurricane Helene relief efforts.
Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Legend celebrates the holidays again. Country music stars align, and Bay re-teams with Smith in the Hollywood Nation. Will Smith is reuniting with director Michael Bay. According to Deadline, Bay is in final negotiations to helm the Netflix action film Fast and Loose, starring Smith. The film centers on a man with amnesia who quickly learns he's been living 2 different lives. The project marks the duo's first time working together since 2003's Bad Boys 2.
The man, he sees me.
Country music stars are uniting for a good cause. North Carolina natives Luke Combs and Eric Church will headline Concert for Carolina to help raise funds for victims of Hurricane Helene. The benefit show will feature additional artists and will take place at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 26th. All proceeds will be donated to organizations helping with relief efforts across the Carolinas and the Southeast.
Through the years we all will be together.
John Legend is hitting the road to spread holiday cheer. The EGOT winner announced his latest festive tour, A John Legend Christmas. The 11 city shows will feature the singer performing renditions of classics from his 2018 album, A Legendary Christmas, alongside a 4-piece band. The holiday run kicks off in Highland, California, December 2nd.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Of his voice.
Yeah, I do too. I don't want to think about Christmas yet, though.
Me either.
Nope. Nope. All right, let's think about the weather. It's going to be rainy today.
Yeah.
Locally. Yeah. Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Wednesday. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Comfort Shoes can help you find the perfect fit for your new fall and winter footwear. Visit us across from Irving and Newport. Alrighty, here we go. Frost advisory up until 8 a.m. this morning from Bangor, areas further off towards the east, and a few frost advisories off toward the west as well. That's not the only thing we're watching. We're watching for some active surf at times. Noticeable wave heights at around 4 to 5 feet according to the buoys. No advisories in effect offshore, at least at this moment in time. We'll keep an eye on that. Notice the ocean a little bit further active. The ocean, though, further out towards sea, a little bit more active at around 7 to 8 feet according to the buoys there. And of course, we have a hurricane near Florida. We'll talk about that in a little bit. On land, though, we are seeing a few showers that are developing this morning. There they are there, tracking from the west going toward the east. So a few showers will be common on and off throughout the daytime period today, with sunshine now will also peek out from time to time. Here's the area low pressure right about in here. Nothing too ridiculous here, with a few showers across the northeastern states. Obviously very active weather moving into Florida. With Hurricane Milton, as of the last update, this thing is mean. A Category 5 major hurricane tracking off towards the north and east. This thing just looks very impressive as it tracks off towards the north and east, heading right towards Florida. The latest information we have has that around 160 miles per hour with some gusty winds. This is ugly. 200 miles per hour and moving towards the northeast at 12 12 miles per hour, so it's speeding up. Hurricane warnings in the red, tropical storm warnings also being noted in the orange. This projected path will take it through parts of Florida throughout the daytime period, coming up even later on tonight into parts of Thursday morning. So tonight into Thursday morning, that's when this thing will begin to move in, and it could make landfall as a Category 3 or 4 hurricane somewhere between Tampa and Fort Myers. So it's going to be very ugly to see how this thing behaves as we do move forward in time. Hopefully everyone that you know of has evacuated from Florida, or at least moved to a spot that won't be as affected as badly from this storm. But meanwhile, though, for today here at home, we'll be partly cloudy with highs in the upper 50s, a few rain showers possible, no big deal there. Northwest wind getting up to around 5 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 30s, mostly cloudy, a few rain showers possible again. West wind getting up to around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 50s, partly cloudy, some scattered rain showers possible, more so sprinkles, with that northwest wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Alrighty, let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Partly cloudy Friday with highs in the low 60s, lower 60s again for a Saturday with a chance for rain showers, and partly cloudy Sunday with highs in the upper 50s.
Washington politicians allowing lobstermen to struggle, not just with higher inflation or with more regulations. They're allowing Canada to lobster in our waters, decimating our lobster population, stealing natural resources from our next generation.
Washington lets Canada steal from our lobstermen. They play politics while Mainers paid the price. It's time we put people over politics. I'll hold Canada accountable and fight to protect our way of life. I'm Austin Theriault, and I approve this message.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow Party. Don't miss the world premiere of Stegosaurus and your favorites, Bigfoot, Megarex, Tiger Shark, and more. Be amazed by the high flyers of freestyle motocross and the all-new fire and frost-breathing robot, Arctic Gone. Plus the pre-show VIP and Power Smashers pre-show before each performance. Kids tickets start at just $12.50. Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels Monster Truck toys come to life at Cross Insurance Center, October 18th through the 20th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. 25 words or less.
Wallpaper.
We have 30,000 ways to thank our loyal fans.
I love watching people win money that's not mine.
Win one of 3 $10,000 cash prizes.
Courtroom leader.
The judge. By watching from home and scanning our QR code.
You just won the game, guys!
It's the 30K Thanks Arama giveaway.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
The Bangor Historical Society held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the completion of the granite wall and fence restoration at the nonprofit's Hill House headquarters. The project took 106 days from start to finish. The City of Bangor helped fund $60,000 of the restoration through the city's Community Development Block Program. Ristine Barr, the president of the Bangor Historical Society, says seeing the work completed is really a dream come true.
It's an important building to the city, the state, and the nation, and we're very proud to have been able to get the restoration to this point.
And this granite work is exceptional, and it was really important to keep that. And the gate, they have been having some security issues, so the gate is important for them to be able to protect the property.
The Bangor Historical Society's next project will be to fix the portico on the Hill House, which is the first famous building built by architect Richard Upjohn. The Hill House is almost 200 years old and is still standing tall on Union Street here in Bangor.
It's such a unique building and so important to Bangor's history.
Looks great.
Yeah. Well, finally now, France's Combe Girardot has leapt to a world record in death diving after a stunning jump off of a Spanish cliff on Monday. The 22-year-old from Bordeaux made the jump from the 44-meter high cliff of the Kimbara waterfall near a local town. After descending for about 3 seconds, he dived into the water, hands and feet first, at a speed of 106 kilometers per hour. A dozen of his friends and competitors on the the Dodds were diving during the world tour there in the water to support him. Did I say that wrong? I can't remember. I don't know.
His friends were there to watch him.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay, thanks for summing that up.
Death diving, that's a thing.
I know. I mean, that could kill you
Yeah.
if done wrong. Could kill you quite quickly.
Yeah, over 100 feet tall.
Not a hobby for me. Thank you very much. I'll just be jumping off into the pool.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, looks like we're running out of time. If you missed anything, you can head to foxbangor.com.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you have a wonderful day.
The only time I get recognized is when I look crazy.
Of course.
No makeup, crazy hair, carrying a lot of I look like a bag lady. Oh, Meredith Vieira. I go, wait, how did you get that from this disheveled mess?
Today on 25 Words or Less, as a child, her dreams of being a professional jockey were crushed, just like every pony she ever attempted to ride. It's Melissa Peterman.